What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the homestead. We've got a few things on our to-do list today, so we might as well go ahead and get started. For anybody that is new to our channel, welcome. My name is Liz. My husband Mike and I are homesteading on 10 acres up in North Idaho. We have been building our homestead from the ground up for the last 3 years. We started out in a pop-up camper right where that shipping container is, actually, and 3 years later we built a shop house. We're still doing all of the finished work and everything like that, but we are in a nice, comfortable home. Right now, we have some chicken chores to do, so I'm gonna go down and do that first, and then I'm going to be in the garden for a little while. So down here at the lower part of our property is kind of the livestock working area. We've got some sheep over here in the barn, and this is our meat chicken enclosure. Our laying hens are actually, you can kind of see back there, chicken coops over there. Those are our laying hens. Meat chickens are all in here. These are Freedom Rangers, and this batch is actually getting really, really close to their butcher date. Mike and I kind of just need to pick a day, either this week or next, to butcher these guys. There's 16 of them, so that actually should go by fairly quickly. But yesterday, actually, we got an entirely new batch of Freedom Rangers. So there's actually 35 in here right now. Little tiny babies. We got them in the mail. We tried a new hatchery. This one is out of Oregon. So luckily it wasn't too far to ship it. We built them this nice little brooder house. It's actually working out really well. So we have electricity actually ran to here. I have the heat lamp that goes at night. And then the brooder plate is actually ran off one of these power stations. So I actually need to take this and plug it back in to get it nice and charged up so it lasts through the night. They actually last like quite a long time, about 20 hours or so, charging this brooder plate. So that's plenty of time, but I'm going to get it charged up back to 100%. Need to fill up their water and fill up the other chickens' water as well. But these guys are just loving it in here. Got the thermometer close to 100 degrees, which is pretty good for these guys right here. So far so good. This is a nice spot for them. So that's not good. This little guy just was chirping real loud. I think he might have got out of one of these little spots right here. Glad he did it while I was down here, so I can just cover up a couple of those gaps with some rocks. Could have been bad. Let's get you back inside. One of our laying chickens has been broody for the last 3 weeks or so. She actually hatched some chicks just yesterday. I noticed that they hatched, so let's check on her. So mom's in the brooder box here. She's got food and water in there. She's closed off from everybody else. I've noticed that chickens can be pretty savage, especially for a mom that is laying on a clutch of eggs or has recently hatched little baby hens. So she's closed off with food and water. She's a lot more comfortable like that. She might not move, but so far she has 2 chicks under her. They're pretty cute. Oh, you can almost see one popping out right there. 2 little chicks. So far, I don't know how many more are gonna hatch, but hopefully a few more. Come on out. Cute. And that's Black Betty. All right, Mama. See you later. A couple more girls are laying right now. I brought the e-bike down to carry this power station back up in one of the baskets. It's actually pretty heavy, so I'll go get that plugged in and then head to the garden. All right, so we are up here in the garden, and the plan is to weed this bed and this bed, as well as like everything else, I guess. The weeds are kind of taking over in some spots. And then Mike is going to start stringing up like a new section of peas mostly. We've got a lot of peas planted here, and they're ready to climb so they can start really producing fruit. So he is going to start on that while I start weeding. Sound good?
Sounds good.
We are back at it the next morning. We have these beds all nice and weeded. They look great. I think we are going to finish up this trellis for the peas. We planted these peas a little bit later, but there's still plenty of time left in the season for us to get peas out of them, but we need to string them up. So Mike has come up with a pretty cool idea. So let's get going. So we've got a string up here on the top going from each post, and then a string down here on the bottom. And we're just going to be attaching strings, the same string that we used for the green bean trellis actually, for the peas to climb up. Once we get them trained, they will be nice and happy. They're kind of flopped over right now, but they'll figure it out pretty quick. So we'll go all the way down with that. Should be the last of the trellises that we're building this year. Like I had said, we planted these peas quite a bit later, but there's still plenty of time left in this growing season where I think we're going to get plenty of peas.
Yeah, I think so too. And the other growing plant that we planted were the beans, but our plan is to have that grow up the corn stalks that are actually doing really good right next to the beans. So that should work out. I guess we're going to see. Right. A lot of this is trial and error. Trial and error,
yeah. And a lot of it's just maintenance after this. We had so many weeds growing in these beds, I think because we sprinkled like hay. Must have been like a big reason why some of the beds get a lot more weeds than the other. I think it's from the hay that we take from the sheep's pen, you know, and then the seeds that are passing through them and the seeds that are already like in the grass, in the hay, just come up in the garden beds. So that's kind of something that maybe we want to figure out for next year. And there's lots of methods out there to where you do less weeding. And most of these beds aren't that bad. They have like a couple weeds here and there. But certain beds like these ones and then the potatoes get weeds really, really bad because we put the hay down.
Right, yeah, like 2 out of all of these beds are much worse than the others. And I think it has to be just the seeds in the hay, essentially. Yeah. In this soil that we got, we don't know exactly what was in it. So there could have been a lot of seed. And that too, you know, I don't think they screened out seeds. Right. Some of this was reclaimed soil. So there's definitely ways we can prevent this in the future by planting different plants there that grow really quickly, you know, like the squash and the zucchini that really spread out. The pumpkins will cover all that and they'll shade a lot of the weeds out. Yeah. So for our first year, this is actually going pretty well, I think.
I think so too. There's other methods people use, like the weed mats. I don't know how well that would work in the raised beds. It would probably work fine, but I don't mind weeding like once every month or so. Just like do it really, really good. You don't have to do it constantly, but once the weeds kind of start to take over, then you definitely want to remove them.
Yeah. So all in all, it's looking good. We appreciate you guys watching this video. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing down below, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.